Hey, everybody. Hey. Hey. Oh, sorry. That was a chronic, not a Rona.
You are now listening to the Wake and Bake podcast with Buck Stallion.
And today, I've got
Brian Sherwood
of Sherwood's Community Chest. And
hello, Buck.
How are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
We're out here in this beautiful field right now, gazing upon the beautiful, is that a dune buggy?
It looks like a dune buggy, yeah.
All right.
Buggy, yeah.
Well, and there's a magpie, and I thought I heard a chicken or maybe a monkey behind us. But, dude, so you were about to explain to me something that's going on in the world. All I know is that somebody died, and her name is what? It's Rudy?
Ruth Bader
Ruthie.
Ruthie, yeah. Yeah, so she was, the probably most liberal Supreme Court justice, and she had a good career and was kind of a trailblazer for women, and but it's a bit of a problem now because we're 53 days out from the election or something like that, and now there's an open spot, an open vacancy, and you've got a 5-4 conservative court. 5-3 now because Ginsburg is gone, and there's a lot of history that goes back.
So, I think I know where this is going. Trump's going to be able to appoint a judge before he gets out.
Well, I mean,
in theory.
So constitutionally, he's allowed to. It's his right. So what happened in 2016 with Merrick Garland is the Republican-held Senate refused to take a vote on the president's appointee because they said, look, the people elected us, a Republican Senate, and so, you're from a different party. We should wait until the next president, and then we'll go through, which was Trump. So he got to make the appointment, which was Kavanaugh, I think, or I don't remember who was first. But so now they're saying, well, you need to do the same thing, and the GOP is basically saying, well, it's a little different because in 2018 they elected us again to be able to continue Trump's, to move his agenda and move the conservative agenda. And here we are, and we have the conservative and the president, and we're going to go ahead and go through with it. So
you think that, but anybody that he tries to appoint, they're going to try and slam.
It's going to be a disaster. Yeah, I don't think. Well, the whole thing is the way.
How long did Kavanaugh's thing take? Like a year?
70 days. Yeah, the whole thing with
that's only like a month, 2 months.
Yeah,
it seemed like a long time.
Yeah, the whole thing with the left now is that they're threatening, oh, we're gonna burn the streets down if you try to appoint a judge, and it's like, well, that's constitutionally allowed to do that. It's the law, but if for the left now, if the law doesn't agree with their ideology, then they decide that they're just going to wreak havoc in the streets, which is a little bit ridiculous.
I thought they were already kind of doing that, though.
Well, they are, but I think it's probably going to get worse.
Is that, dude? Do you think that? Like Biden said some shit where he was like, "You think the riots are going to stop if I don't get elected?" Or something like that.
Well, no. I mean, they've already threatened. Look, it's regardless of what happens on November 3rd, other than a Biden landslide, which I think no one thinks is a reality. If you do,
well, I feel like the chaos that ensued that everybody thought was going to be like some like uprising. I think that it really showed some asses.
Oh, it showed the true colors.
And then everybody was like, dude, like you're just fucking everybody's shit up. Like you don't even care if it's owned by a black person. You don't even care if they donate money to capturing, fucking children or abductors or whatever.
It's worked against them for sure.
Yeah,
I think it was a.
They're so focused. I actually saw a parade online where they were like, "Who are we freeing? Black criminals." And I was like, what? What?
Yeah, no,
so now criminals are cool too?
It's gotten to the point where, I don't know, it's interesting because I know a lot of Democrats. I was a Democrat, and a lot of them are sane people, but they've allowed the far left to take over their party. And I think it's a bad look for them, and I think you're going to see it in the election in November. I think it's going to be a sweep, and I think they're going to lose the House, and I think they're going to obviously. I don't think Trump is going to lose, and I think they're going to the GOP is going to keep the Senate. We'll see, but I don't know. You can't. Their whole platform is chaos. People don't want chaos. A very small percentage. So.
Well, the people are sick of the chaos already.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, and so I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think it's.
So now with this judge thing, what all do you think are the probabilities?
Well, I think if they want to do it, they'll do it.
But do you know who? Does anybody know who he's considering?
Trump released a list about 2 weeks ago of about 20 judges, and I think he released actually some more. And so I think the best way to handle it is to come out, make Joe Biden release his list, because they're going to be so far left that it's, and then it's going to polarize the vote. It's going to nationalize the vote, because it's going to benefit conservatives, because the right cares about the court big time, and the left, some do, but most don't know. They don't know anything about it. And that's, I think, part of what put Trump over the edge last time, was the fact that he was going to get to appoint Supreme Court justices. And so I actually think the move strategically is you say who you're going to nominate, you bring a name forward, you make Biden commit, and then every national race, you say, look, if we don't win this, we're not getting our justice. So now I think it really brings a lot of credence and importance to down ballot voting, and which I think turnout is going to be obscene in the GOP anyway.
That's part of the thing I read too, is that's part of the process of all of this, not just the judge, but like the voting. Even it's gonna screw a lot of stuff up.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're worried. There's a lot of
voter fraud things.
Well, yeah, the voter fraud. The voter fraud is here's the deal. Like, what? And I'm not calling the entire left out, but I kind of am, because it's entirely disingenuous to say we're going to take 45 states out of 50 that haven't cleaned their voter rolls for 30 years and send ballots out to everyone, and nothing's wrong is going to happen. That's different than requesting a ballot. Okay. Now, in states that do it routinely, they clean their rolls.
Yeah.
The ballot goes to the right spot. Well, I looked with my employee the other day, and his would have gone to his old apartment if he'd have looked,
Wow.
And the only reason he looked is because I told him, hey, let's go on and let's look and see where your ballot's going. And so we changed it. But, I mean, you're going to have that. And then in California, in a state where they allow ballot harvesting, where it's legal, okay, a lot of people don't know that, but it's legal for me to go out on and collect people's ballots and say, hey, can I help you vote? That's legal. Oh, vote this way and sign, in this state. And turn in 8,000 ballots at the end. Well, what's to stop me from going to an apartment complex and doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it just...
kinking the whole system.
Yeah, it's just...
Or like even that, what is it up with these mail people throwing away whole boxes of mail lately?
Well, they're not millionaires.
Junk mail? Is it junk mail, though?
Well, no, I mean...
Or are they being angry?
Could be a little bit of both. But, everyone... I mean, there's a lot of people that can be bought, and I just... It's disingenuous to make the comparison and say it's the same thing. It's entirely disingenuous, but it's dishonest, actually. I'll go one step further.
Yeah.
It's dishonest of people to say it's the same thing, because it's not. And they know it's not, but they don't give a shit. So, and that's the problem here. Like, no one's afraid to go to Walmart, to go... I mean, there are probably a few people that haven't left their house, people that are very ill. My parents are very sick, both of them, immune compromised. They've pretty much stayed in their house. I mean, my mom actually has gone back to work, but for the most part. And, so there are a few people, but then request a ballot and vote by mail.
Right.
But for the average Joe that goes to the grocery store, it's not a big deal to go stand in a fucking line and vote. Like, that's bullshit. Saying, oh, we can't vote.
Yeah, why can't we do 6 paces away or 10 paces away
bullshit.
from each other?
It's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
It's malarkey, to use one of Joe Biden's terms.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's been doing weird...
a dog-faced pony soldier?
He's been doing some weird stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, he walks up to the podium and, like, plays, like, some Brazilian or Cuban song.
Despacito.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, apparently I'm not familiar with the artist, but
Yeah.
the artist that wrote that song was there. But what's funny is the first line, I think if you translate it, is something to the effect of "I want to smell your neck gently" or something.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it was probably not the
This
wisest
guy-
choice.
I feel like it's they're almost like there's so much weird shit going on, dude. I saw a video where a teacher in Palm Springs was telling their children about how when Biden gets voted in, if he's going to be the oldest president we've ever had, and if he dies, then Kamala Harris is going to be the president. She'll be our first woman minority.
Weird. I wonder if anyone ever thought of that.
You know what I'm saying, dude? And I was just like, holy shit. And, they're telling the kids this is basically going to happen.
Right. Well, it's unlikely, but I mean, we're T minus. Let's see, what are we? T minus 10 days to the first debate, supposedly. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's
It's interesting times. It's pretty scary when you have, the left calls the right fascists, and yet they're the ones that are out there stopping free speech.
Yeah, I did notice
violence.
that.
Like they are fascists.
But that's what I've always felt like. If you're the one, it's kind of like smelt it, dealt it.
Right.
Like if you're the one, if you're calling me a racist, like, well, how did I use race? You're the one that's telling me I'm a racist. You're the one that's you're weaponizing race by calling me a racist.
Right.
But I don't ever say anything racist, so.
Well, the fascism thing kind of cracks me up because it's like it's entirely the left that's shutting down free speech on college campuses. That's getting up in people's faces at restaurants. Like that's saying accost people in the street. Like basically, and then the funny thing is, oh, this is Donald Trump's America with the violence. It's like, okay, so let me get the playbook right. When you're not in power, you go and create all kinds of havoc, and then blame it on the person in power, so that your party can get in. Like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like,
well, and that's what I've been seeing. That's what's crazy, is I almost feel like I should vote this year.
You should,
because fucking everybody keeps telling me. Because all I do is ask questions, and I keep getting told by people that don't want to answer the questions on my left, friends. They don't want to answer questions. They say, you don't vote, so you don't get to ask questions. And I'm like, huh. But, like, my whole thing is I keep going back to the whole thing. Everybody wanted somebody outside of the machine.
Right.
Everybody wanted somebody outside of the machine. That everybody that supports Trump sees him as somebody outside of the machine, but also a new part of the machine that's controlling our own machine rather than a globalist machine.
Correct.
And then I see that everybody that doesn't like him because he said things that hurt their feelings, they have to stay. That the only leverage they have is that he's not doing things the machine used to do.
Right.
And so but then they're in the streets burning down the machine. They think that they're burning down the machine by doing everything they're doing. But like Trump he's dismantling it from the inside. Mm-hmm. And they don't, I feel like in 20 years, we're going to be really fucking blown away, by the things that were accomplished that we don't even know about.
Michael Bloomberg, who's worth, I don't know, $100 billion or something, and has tons of investments in China. He's giving $100 billion or $100 million to the Florida elections, for ads and stuff. And it's like that money's coming right from China. That's what's so. They're so disingenuous. Russia's fucking nothing. China is everything.
Yeah.
China is everything. And, you want to pretend like some fucking country that has no money, that has nothing, is a big deal. And you've got China, and they're over making, back alley deals. It's like, of course China wants Biden to win because Biden is owned by China. And so the entire Democratic Party is. It's a bunch of bullshit. Their answer to everything is, it's a conservative conspiracy theory. That's the answer to everything. You mentioned George Soros. Oh, it's a conservative conspiracy theory. It's like, no, it's trackable. Soros funds far leftist DAs. Like, that's what he does. He funds far left, like, anarchist agenda. Like, it's trackable. Follow the money. Like, you can follow money with nonprofits. You can just look.
So you don't like George Soros?
No.
But I feel like he's like an old punk rocker.
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah, he's an anarchist.
He's like a weird anarchist and establishment guy.
Well, that's what he is, yeah.
That's weird to be that rich but still, I mean, I guess it'll keep you on the top if everybody else is eating themselves alive like a crab pot.
Well, that's kind of it, isn't it? Yeah.
Huh.
It's easy to be a liberal if you're rich, dude.
Fuck.
It's easy to be a liberal if you're rich.
Well, I think everybody, I think that now that I'm starting to think about it, I think that if you weren't a liberal when you were young, you never had a heart. And if you don't become a conservative as you get wiser and older, then you don't have a brain. But if you don't become liberal when you're rich yet again, after being a conservative, and maybe even a hardline conservative until you got that finance, then you were never a liberal.
Wow. Mind blown.
Hey, I'm here to help the people.
觉得在这个屋头就别的关系哪上了啊？
Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a pedophile. Tom Hanks, folks, is a pedophile. I'm sorry if this is the kind of bursting your bubble, all this information is new, but it's time that this comes out into the open because we are going to change the way everything works, because at the top levels of wealth, of power, the very top levels, these people are just sick and psycho. Look into the Rothschild family. Do some research. You heard it's cannibals. Yeah, there is cannibalism. The higher you go, the more sick it gets.
So, thanks, Brian Sherwood.
You're welcome, Buck. Glad to be here with you this morning.
This is fun.